Hey, Gavox here. Welcome to MUT Podcast number 193. Today we are joined by Fritzy, and we'll get into like a introduction of you. Hey, have you tried this MUT zero chill packs method for cheap training?
Which one?
The zero chill, those packs that give off 3 cards.
Yeah. I mean, I rolled. I think we did 10 million on stream a couple of days ago.
And
It was not what I was told it was going to be, which is per the usual. A lot of the methods will work at small quantities, right? So like people are seeing everything inside of a bubble, but when you start rolling things at massive quantities and you start to really see what it looks like, most of these things, they have it down to like, I mean, you're not really profiting.
yeah, hang on. We just got a massive raid from ATL. So ATL, dude. Amazing content creator. Love him. Sorry. Oh, we're getting rated hardcore. Holy crap, dude. They're filling up the chat. Can we get some den defenders in here? By the way, sorry, podcast audience. We just got absolutely like destroyed by ATL's community. I love it, dude. Hopefully Madden treating you well, bud. But yeah, we just got messed up. That's kind of awesome. And we're talking. So for those that are new here, we do this once a week. ATL says lol. We're having a podcast. We got Fritzy on. We got the community going. I appreciate you guys, but so you're saying like all these methods and stuff with pulling packs, they really have only been they've only worked, which is what I've seen too when we've had like loopholes and stuff. And if it ever worked, it would be a loophole. It'd be patched like pretty quickly. Right. So it's all small sample sizes.
Yeah, so that's why I laugh. My content, right? Like I'm opening more packs. Last year I had just short of 400,000 packs open, so obviously quite a few packs and tons of that being bundle pulls. And the amount of people that'll come in and out and say, oh man, this pack's on fire. If I were to put certain segments of my content in a bubble, it would look like it was amazing. But the reality behind it is I'm going to keep going for another hour. And by the time we're done with it, it's going to look like one of the worst rolls ever. It's like clockwork. Yesterday we were doing presents, right? I did a million in presents. We had like 2 sections where I pulled four of the globes in like 150K, and then we went 500 or 700K with not a thing. We weren't even pulling larges,
That's kind of. Here's the thing: is like Lutzo said it well in chat. If it works over big sample size, it's the method. If it's a loophole. If it works over a small size, it's gambling and you're lucky. And the thing is like. That's the thing about being a creator is you need to upload. Like, so you're pretty new to the YouTube game. And how long you been on Twitch streaming for?
I've only been streaming. I started in January of 21 on Twitch, and I've only dabbled in YouTube. I tried to get it started this year, but I'm a pack opening guy, So when Pack Strike hit and I stopped right there, I didn't even really pick it back up. So I'm primarily just on Twitch as it is.
Gotcha. Hey, what's your favorite team in the NFL?
I'm a Lions fan, man. Unfortunately.
I mean, what do you mean? Unfortunately, they're looking pretty great. No, I just need it because we're playing Steelers versus Lions here, for the background video for those on YouTube. For those on the podcast, Apple, iTunes, or whatever the heck it is on that platform, or Spotify. Please like, thumbs up, whatever it is. Rate us 5 stars. And am I hearing myself in the background? You got the stream going?
No.
Oh, weird. I can hear an echo. But anyways, yeah, you're doing pretty good, Lions. All right. So. Talk to me. Give me like a 30-second breakdown of your Detroit Lions season and what you're looking like going forward.
So I had us at 3 wins this year. Obviously, that happened. I thought I was in great shape, right? I'm like, oh yeah, we're good money. I got this. I actually had a couple $100 bets on it. Then they start to heat up, and I'm like, all right, they're starting to play. And I will admit, as a Lions fan, like I know what not good looks like, right? And I know what inconsistency looks like. And I still felt that way, and I still do now. I will be shocked if the Lions don't lose 2 out of the next 3 games.
Really?
Yeah. I think we might be able to sneak out a win versus Carolina this weekend. I feel very confident that Justin Fields is going to run all over us, and then Aaron Rodgers beats us in the final game.
Because you have
As
to
a
win
Lions
all your
fan,
games
I've been around this block
right?
before.
You have to win all 3 of your games to make it, probably, to get 10 wins?
I'd imagine so. I mean, you got the Commanders have to kind of run the gauntlet a little bit, and so does the Giants. I think the Giants remaining schedule is a little more forgiving. You got Commanders play 49ers, I believe, this weekend, which is going to be an almost unwinnable game, I think, for them. And
Any given
the Giants
Sunday.
are a little. What's that?
Any given Sunday, dude.
Yeah, and not versus that 49ers defense right now.
But they got a quarterback that's Purdy, but we don't know if he's any good still.
I honestly believe that defense is going to take them to the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's done it before.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Most Super Bowl winning teams, are a good chunk of them are based on defense, right? It's why we have guys like Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, in the old NFL, I don't know. Lately, we've had a lot of offensive Kansas City, but yeah, generally you got to have a defense that actually plays pretty decently to get
hold
there.
up, hold up.
Like the Patriots, like bullied the Rams. What's up?
Okay, but Kansas City, did Kansas City's offense really win them that Super Bowl?
I saw Patrick Mahomes put the team on his back though.
Yeah, well, for like 5 minutes of the game.
Hey, if 5 minutes was bad, me and the wife wouldn't be married.
No. Well, that is fair. Yeah, if 5 minutes was bad, I wouldn't have 4 kids.
There it is.
And I don't, I'm not. You're gonna hate this, and so is everybody that's listening to this. I am not sold on Mahomes.
All right, let's get off NFL talk. So you've opened 400,000 packs
last year. Last year.
Okay. So, anyways, how much money do you spend on MUT a year to year? I think like you're the biggest, probably spender in the community now.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, enough to pay for somebody's salary there. That's for darn sure. You're
We're
welcome,
talking like
TJ.
a software dev?
What's that?
We're talking like a software dev, like 200K or something.
No.
Plus benefits?
I don't even think you could get that out. So I don't rip anything off a stream, to be fair. And it slows down quite a bit after the new year. There's really not any purpose. The dollars that you're putting in at that point don't really get you back a proper amount of coins to do it. But probably 50, I'd guess.
50K.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably like I've heard people spending that. I wonder how much Raw spent back in the day. He was probably 50 to 100K also.
Yep.
But I don't think he does that anymore to that level. But all right, 50K, and you started content creating a couple years ago. So why did you start creating content at Madden? Was it just to like write off the on your taxes the money spent, or what were you inspired by?
No. So funny story. I have 4 kids, like I said, and my oldest son he loves, anything internet related. He wanted to stream, basically, is what it came down to. So I said, no, let me jump on first. I want to see what would happen, right? What people come into the chat. And people started coming in. I was actually a gameplay guy. So I went from 2 or 3, and then the next week I had 15 people already, and then the following week I had 25 people. And mind you, I had 0 followers on any platform. Nobody knew who I was. So I had been in a bunch of guys' chat. I've been sub to you, I think, for longer than I've been streaming, significantly longer. And I knew some of the guys already, just have been active in their chats. And I actually booted up and played Skimbo for a $50 money game on stream, and I was giving him fits. And a bunch of his people started coming over to my stream, and the next thing you know, I just started growing. So I got partnered on Twitch after 4.5 months of streaming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
quick.
basically, so chat's saying you stole your son's dreams.
I did. Yeah, but he's gonna be great someday. Okay.
Okay. Until he starts doing better than you, then you also steal that channel.
Well, likely, yes. Correct. This is dad rules, bro. This is dad rules.
Yeah, that's what I've often said. People that are starting in the to stream, you definitely want to be involved in the community, just in general, and in Madden or any community that you want to be in. If you want to be a creator, Fredzilla just started,
Yep.
Streaming a couple weeks ago, and he's getting pretty decent. I saw him up to 80 viewers, due to he's been in the MUT community for years and consistently replies, and is just in it. So it's a great way of starting your channel, and then do you play so you rip this insane amount of packs? How often on stream are you actually playing the game?
Literally never. I play off stream. right? So like I'm like an 18, 19, 20 weekend league. It's not weekend league anymore, but like that's the area that I'm in. So I'm okay. I'm not like a great player by any stretch of the imagination. I don't suck though.
Oh, well, how much would it cost to get you to?
I mean, I'll play if you you want to play me?
No, I was asking how much would it get you to suck?
Oh. I mean, no price, man. That's free.
Oh, nice. Love it, love it, love it. I'm more of a below the belt handshake kind of guy. So like, why create? Are you eventually gonna try and turn this? Like, what do you do? Like, I don't know if you want to dox yourself. Like, what do you do full time that you can afford 50K down the drain a year on MUT?
I am the head of an environmental department at a property restoration company. So I deal with like pathogens, bacteria, mold, asbestos, lead, and I run that entire side of the business for the company that I work for.
Oh, that's cool. So you're like one of them environmental freaks.
Correct. Well, no, I'm actually the opposite of that. But basically, my job is to make sure that my company never gets sued.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
I know a lot of things, you know? That's about it. I know a lot of things.
You know the loopholes in the environmental regulations.
Correct.
Gotcha. He's a moss man. Right. Go on.
What's that?
No, go on. I thought you were about to say something.
No, I was going to say, you know, I was a sound engineer before that, and I met my wife, and not really a conducive lifestyle. So I went back to school to get a degree in environmental systems technologies, and then applied that in this career. It's done real well for me, you know, but I do pretty well for myself in the content creation sphere as well, you know. So basically, my Twitch channel alone funds everything that I open per year. I don't have to come out of pocket at all.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Because then you just like, you know, you can write off all that stuff. And obviously that's not like free money, but it helps reduce a little bit of the burden
Correct.
on the expenses.
Yep.
So like that's kind of what the reason why you rip so much is so that way you're like kind of, are you going to try and take this content creation full time? Or you're just kind of like content with where you are? Like, what's the future? Because like this is kind of, you know, everybody's got their come up story. And so you're a relatively newer creator and you've been coming up pretty good. And so is this something you want to plan to do the full time?
I would love to do it full time, you know, but there's a lot that goes into that. You know this, right? So ideally, you have to have multiple wings to this content creation, right? You got to have YouTube, Twitch, you know, your Twitter presence, all the good stuff. And I don't have enough time to jump into it the way that I would prefer and give it the effort that I would like to. 4 kids that are all 10 and under, a wife that's at home. I work, I'm typically at the office every morning at 5 a.m. I'm not off until like 4:40. I head home and then I jump on stream at 5 every day, right? So I'm moving and I'm not really done until 8 every night. So I would love to be able to apply that to content creation, but with what I make for a living as it is, it would take, you know, I'd have to be up there and feel pretty comfortable walking away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started for like the first 3 or 4 years doing the day job and the content creation stuff, and I was streaming a few times a week, plus, you know, YouTube, probably trying to do that daily. It was hell having it like that full time schedule at 2 different places. Yep. Like, yeah. So it's tiring and stuff, and so anybody on the come up, it is an absolute fucking insane grind. And yeah, hopefully you can kind of like get to that full-time spot soon enough, so that way you're not, you know, wearing yourself thin and just being miserable. Because I remember I was like, whenever me and Foxy would like sit down to watch a movie or something, I'd just be like falling asleep like almost instantly.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked Game of Thrones back in the day. Lots of boobs to keep me up, right?
Yeah. I'm a pretty. Yeah. I mean, if you've ever, for anybody who's walked into my stream or like knows me, I am shot out of a cannon just naturally. So I mean, I work a lot, but I don't find myself like excessively tired. I'm willing to put in the hours. I've kind of always been built that way, no matter what no matter what I've got myself into. So that part doesn't bother me. And there's a lot of gratification in the content creation sphere, more so than there is in the professional sphere, in my opinion, just because you're kind of doing it all on your own and you're making what you're making. And if people appreciate that, there's a lot more value inside of that, if that makes sense. I'm sure you probably can relate.
Definitely. So All right, moving on to like MUT and presents and whatnot, and the cards coming out tomorrow. What are your thoughts right away on the guys revealed, like specifically Troy Polamalu? Okay, because I got my thoughts on him and I've shared them quite a bit. But like short players, is there a spot in MUT for short players, and why doesn't EA care about them?
Listen, I understand why everybody says that there's not this year. I still think a lot of those players play well, and I'm pretty sure if anybody is honest with themselves, plays are getting made against them with short players. The reality is, I think the biggest L that I saw today, or the stuff that was the toughest for me to look at, was I felt like, this is typically a time of the year where we get a new name or two at minimum that's really kind of like a pop you in the mouth type player. We got none of that. At least it didn't feel like we did. It felt a very recycled, and I do like cards getting their upgrades. I'm not one of those guys. It's like, well, I can't believe they're already recycling. It's not my style, but there's a pretty special program that I feel like they kind of let off the gas, even with the extra quantity that they put out there.
So, like, what do you mean by like? What about Sean Taylor? Like, are you saying like the cards themselves are bad? He's new to the game and he was like a pop in the mouth kind of guy.
No, there was some good ones. I agree. There was some good ones. I'm talking specifically for Ghosts here today.
Okay.
I would have liked to see a Bo. I did like Cromartie. I think that was a big W to bring him into the game. I'm a little concerned by Cromartie and Mahomes being the LTDs. It reeks a little bit of those being the player presence as well. So I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I definitely want to get back to that. Chad is actually asking me about just circle back to this for 1 second before we get back to MUT.
Yeah.
What does your wife think about you spending all that money on packs, and what about her boyfriend too? Is he the one that's with her since you're gone so much?
Her boyfriend loves it. He's a big fan of mine. So we got that going for us. She could care less, man. Our family income has only gone upwards since I started streaming. It hasn't gone down. So, and my wife isn't that type of a girl anyway. So I'm blessed in that regard. Nice. But
that's awesome.
No complaints from the boyfriend though. He seems to be enjoying his days.
Okay, so as far as that with like player presence and stuff, I think like, dude, a lot of people are speculating Mahomes is the unfinished business, and like either Cromartie or Peppers. Like Peppers is that like big free safety that like we're kind of talking about. He's like 295 and he's insane. He's even better than Troy. Well, I want to get back to Troy in a second, but like I don't know. Would you be happy or would you be sad if those are in the presence on Sunday when they open with Christmas?
I'd be sad, but I'd be lying to you if I was looking at those player presents as anything other than LTD coin value. So in my mind, when I'm pulling a player present, it's 350K. That's what I expect. And I expect whatever's in there, whether it's one of the cards that we've seen or not, I expect them to do exactly what they did last year and put them into the roll directly after they come out.
It lines up with history and what we had last year. So like you actually don't care who the players are.
It doesn't matter I don't know if you realize this, but like because everybody I think has short-term memory loss. Last year when the season started, right? Like everybody's always, when a roll comes out, is trying to figure out like what cards do we put into a set, what cards do we quick sell. They're trying to come up with these methods, right, to like roll through stuff and be profitable. It was not until Zero Chill last year where my degenerate self was the one that was out there quick selling everything. I was actually quick selling my LTDs as well, and I was just rolling way more than anybody else, and it started profiting like crazy. And the next thing you know, other people came in and everybody in the community was doing the exact same thing. That was not a very common thing to do, right? People would build things and make coins that way. I think what we've seen happen is I think EA is onto that at this point, and that's why you're seeing these rolls tame down in the way that they are, because that's I'm sure you've seen this like unlimited present roll, unlimited this. That was truly the only time that we were genuinely unlimited. Like you were never going to lose. You were winning every single roll.
Well, that's not true. We've had many loopholes in the past. We can just roll over and over and over again.
For sure.
through the
We had
years.
the Easter was great. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, we had the Jason Kelsey glitch back in, was that 19? We
Yep.
had multiples in 20.
The Ed Reed and Barry Sanders set one from what was that, 21? 20?
Yeah, I mean, so like we've had loopholes, and obviously EA is way more concerned about it lately. They have screwed up a few times with glitches this year, and yeah, last year that was that very big deal with Simmons and Henry, and it crashed their price, and ended up getting people banned, even though people made like millions and millions. Gingerbread Men, yeah. So we've had many of them, so like let's not forget our history here. But
Sure.
as for EA, yes, that is one of their focuses, and sometimes they screw up, and that's why we can finally get one over on EA at times, and hopefully they do that again this year, right? That's always the dream.
I hope that they go. I hope they go on vacation, reset the odds to be a little bit better, and then we don't see them again until the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. But they have like people on emergency staff. They have like the big red button. Like remember they got that one, was it over Thanksgiving? They fixed that thing in 18 minutes.
Yeah. It's pretty. You know what? I'm not a big complainer when it comes to stuff. So one thing I do acknowledge that I think that like is a legitimate gripe from the community. Things that do hurt them seem to get fixed very quickly. I'm not a computer programmer, so I don't know the ins and outs of like what it takes in regards to each problem. But it does seem like a disproportionate amount of resources are being allocated to make sure that we don't end up in the profit versus, them fixing something that is supposed to be fun for us.
Yeah, which is sad. I've always hoped for them. Like, I think it'd be really cool, and I don't know if they'd ever do this, but like loophole hours or something. Like they say, all right, there's a loophole in the game right now. Go on and go find it and have fun. Good luck. But we're shutting it down after an hour. And then like it'd be like a mystery chase. I think that'd be really cool as like an engagement promo. I know that's kind of like more MUT nerd shit, but I don't know. I think they can like kind of like change it up a little bit and give us what we want, because like the best times in MUT always are when like things are going and they're tilted slightly to players. That's like the most fun portion of MUT the entire year.
Yep.
So it sucks that like EA purposely tries not to give us the most fun periods of the game ever.
I agree with that. And I think this year, you can correct me if you disagree, and I know you will, but I think this year feels the most handcuffed yet.
Like for making coins?
Not just for making coins. Everything feels rigid to me. I don't know if that's the right word to use there, but it feels borderline stale. Like we haven't had actually I feel like the John Lynch role, at least for me and from a ton of the people that frequent my channel, I'm sure they were saying the same in yours, seemed like everybody had a lot of success pulling that LTD, right? Only for it to be turned off and Harrison to be very difficult to pull this last weekend.
I don't know. I don't remember. I was gone for, was I gone for the Lynch weekend or I was gone this past weekend. I guess I don't have any experience with that. So yeah, I guess I don't have a sample size, because like I'm literally using all my training for presents and only presents. Are you like what presents are you keeping then? Yeah, and I want to get back to the rigid statement in a second, but like what are you keeping smalls, or are you just quick selling and only keeping the large ones?
I've kept mediums up so far. I think in an ideal world, I'm going to keep rolling more and more here over the course of the next couple of days, but I'd like to have 999 and it be as many players as I could get up to that point, and the rest be larges.
Wow. Okay. That's kind of insane, but yeah, that's kind of your whole brand, is do as much rolling and stuff as possible.
Correct.
So with this MUT being rigid, like it's been kind of dry. Like Harvest promo, I thought was like the best Harvest promo we've almost ever gotten, outside of Madden 15, where we had the cornucopia packs. But like I felt Madden and MUT's been more rigid ever since 17. 16 was the last year of like this game is wild, but ever since 17, MUT's felt more like it's gotten more comp. It's gotten more like you got to win to get reward. I mean, you always had to kind of win to get rewards, but it felt more as the business is versus the previous years, right? You couldn't put like a crazy amount of players in the lineup. You couldn't use budget cards starting in 17. There was no Dree Archers anymore or Paramans at the start. So what you're saying is your experience in 23 is something that it just seems kind of like the game now, and what the game's been for 5 or 6 years. So it's interesting to see you feel that way.
Well, I would say this. I think that you have your content varies, right? You're not like just sitting in the menus all day. So for me, I can probably see things a little bit differently than you do, just from the quantity and like the rollability and the I watch a lot of people that roll, right? Like smaller streamers that roll. And it is dry, it's stale. Like if you sat there, Fox, and tried to boot up a stream and roll harvest rolls for 4 hours, nobody is going to stay around and watch. That's how it was. Versus in years past, last year specifically, I know the game was doo-doo last year, but from a content perspective, from a rolling perspective, I thought it was the best year that we've had yet.
Yeah, gonna have to disagree with you on that and like every single point you made. As for last year being the best roll year, 20 was by far better than last year, as far as rolls and profitability and just rolling over and over. And like as for people leaving, I have them trapped in my basement. They ain't gonna go anywhere.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen, I didn't pull anywhere close to 1,200 LTDs in 20. And I was rolling just as much.
Content in 20. So you were.
I pulled 1,142 LTDs last year.
Okay.
Which was almost 700 more than the best I had ever done.
But how many hours in 20 were you streaming just rolls?
I wasn't streaming. I was rolling even more than I do now.
In 20.
Yeah. LTDs they didn't pop out of packs. We had numerous programs so it took people a while to catch on to what was going on. After Zero Chill, they started to change the roles. During Harvest, during Most Feared last year, most people don't know this, but people that were in my channel do know this. I was pulling the LTDs out of those roles the same way that I was out of Zero Chill. And I was doing the exact same thing and quick selling everything other than the LTDs. And I was just stacking coins. I spent less money on Madden last year than I had in probably 5 years because my coin stack was already in a spot I didn't need to.
Yeah, so you're saying they've gotten worse at the odds on rerolls have gotten worse.
The odds on rerolls have gotten significantly worse.
Why do you feel that is versus last year? What do you think changed?
I think that they had to have put somebody in a position who is much smarter than the last guy that was there.
I don't know if the economists changed or not, but they have nerfed odds, they've nerfed sets, they've nerfed a lot of this game. It's I don't know why. Like I know they don't want us profiting off the game when we're not putting money in. They've wanted that for a long time, and they've gotten a lot better and a lot more responsible. Like Herky, aka Grant, has said EA, like he's talked to people at EA and they're like well aware of his spreadsheets breaking down odds and like profitable rolls and stuff. So it's almost to like we're suffering from our own success, right? The fact that like we can sit here for 8 hours doing nothing but rolling and profiting is like showing EA, hey, wait a second, we want a cut of that action. Or like it's very similar to me this year. Limited investing became like the thing to do du jour, and everybody like on socials was talking about it. This is good limited to invest in, and then now like everybody's doing it, so like limited's not that good. But so it's like it's a similar thing. Like when the knowledge gets out there about how great this is, it's gonna kind of go away, and in a different sort of way. But one's taken away by EA, the other one's taken away by the community, because everybody wants to make coins, right? Everybody loves it, so it's almost like. It's almost like we did it to ourselves.
Well, we did do it to ourselves. That's why, I mean, I've said this before. Once Zero Chill last year happened, rerolls they're never going to go back. You're never going to get a rolls like that ever again. Cost them, Fox, do you know how much actual cash that cost them last year? We're talking millions upon millions of dollars that cost them because people could get coins so readily available to them. And this is the part that people have to understand. Everybody thinks that they buy a video game and like you're entitled to play MUT. This is a game mode. What you bought is regs and franchise, okay? Whether you like that or not, that's on you. But when you go into MUT, you have now chosen to play a game mode that is an optional game mode that allows you access to certain parts of the game that you don't have otherwise. And then in that game mode, there's a lot of paywalls behind stuff. Again, you don't have to do that. You can still play with all your current players that you love and jump on the game and play Madden. Now, the argument I've heard back from tons of other creators is essentially, well, Fritz, everybody wants to play with the legends. That's great. Everybody wants a Ferrari too, dude. Not everybody can afford one, okay? So there's levels to this stuff. And if you're going to get in there and be no money spent, you're going to get whatever you're willing to put in hours-wise. I do agree that it's been less than in years past, but I think that the reality is that this is a business and they're always going to be trying to make money, and ultimately you're always going to come second to that.
Yeah, I do think as a business though, like every single product needs whales and they need minnows.
Yep.
And this is how nobody spent is seen by that. But like, here's the thing: is you can only go so far before you drive off the minnows. We saw Madden Mobile. Literally, like everybody's like, "Oh, Madden's always going to succeed because it's football." We saw Madden Mobile, which is football on the most popular platform in the world, mobile, die because they kept doing shit like you're talking about, right? They kept like only catering to the whales. If you didn't want to, they didn't allow you to buy packs with coins.
There was
they
no
didn't
whales,
allow you
Fox.
to sell stuff to other players. So like there is a certain line before the game dies. Yes, EA wants to make more money, but like the community needs to wow, I can't even speak. Community needs to be appreciated and given stuff to play the game. Like look at how many people simp for MLB The Show. That's probably the worst gameplay of any game I've played in the last year. But like people simp for it because their game mode is generally able to be played by a lot of people and get pretty decent cards. Obviously, if you're not great at the game, you're not gonna get like the signature Randy Johnson, who was a World Series award. A lot of those rewards that are like, this Mike Trout that's 1 million stubs. But like generally people really love it because it's pretty easy to grind. And so like their player base is growing year over year over year. So like they have like more people in them. MUT's also like you got to buy the actual game of Madden, so that also limits the number of people playing. But like overall, yeah, sure about the Ferrari thing, but like Ferrari costs components and shit and like actual like real life things. And MUT does cost server space. It does cost people making the cards, but like they're still profiting there. They're still making a ton of money. And we can't just like cut EA a fucking break when they're like charging us up the ass.
I'm not cutting them a break. What I'm asking is that we, as a collective community, there's got to be like some common sense that's used as well, right? People do not enter business to not make money. That is what a business is. Person number one provides a service. Person number two pays for said service. Okay. There's a lot that goes into what they're doing just with the devs. All these legends that you guys love playing with every day, they have to go buy the rights to all these people, right? If the person's not in the NFL, they're paying each of these individuals. So people go, why don't they drop this card? Why don't they drop that card? Well, they're not dropping that card because they don't have the rights, and they didn't get the rights because they didn't want to pay for that person that year. I don't know if you saw the leaked list, but there was a leaked list of all the people that they bought the rights to this year. Okay, so I knew that there were certain players were not going to come out. I knew well before, John Elway dropped that we were getting John Elway. I also knew that it was supposed to be Brett Favre, and they pulled that because of his legal situation. So
wait, where'd you see this list at? Where could you send it to me? Was it?
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of it.
Okay.
It's from another creator. It's the same creator that I'm sure you know who it is, but at the end of the day, he was able to get his hands on a list, the database essentially of all these names that were on it. We've seen a good portion of those names drop already. So we all kind of expected certain team diamonds to potentially come out. Quite a few of them came with that. And there are some other names. Like I knew Cromartie was on the list. So when that leak or when that picture came out yesterday in my stream, we were kind of talking up Cromartie.
Was it Pro Football Alliance website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Send me the DM.
I'll send it to you. I gotta go look.
Yeah.
You know who it came from. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is like EA has plenty of money from us, from you, from me, from the community to pay for these guys. So like, I hate that take because
wait. Let me. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me be clear. I am not telling you that I agree with it. I am just telling you I do understand it from the economic standpoint. That's all.
Gotcha. That EA just wants more money.
Correct.
But I feel like we as a community need to tell them, hey man, that's not cool to do all that. Like there's good ways of getting money and bad ways of getting money in video games.
I agree.
So, and then EA is sometimes their own worst enemy with their fucking games, right? Like I talked about Madden Mobile. They literally killed off one of the most popular apps in the entire world. What was it, 6-7 years ago, Madden 15-16 era. So like, and like they need to know the balance. All right, let me open this.
I think that should have it in there.
Wait, put it in that chat right there, that DM, who the creator was.
I spelled it wrong. You know who it is.
Oh, okay. Was it? Did he tweet that or something? Okay, I can't even.
No. He's got a friend on the inside.
Oh.
Is that pulling up for you?
Hang on. Can you just like take a screenshot of it or some shit?
Yeah, dude.
It's not working for me, and I think it just locked my computer.
What?
Oh god damn it. Oh wait, yeah, it came out wingdings. Yeah, just take a screenshot, please.
I'll screenshot it. Give me a sec. You can keep talking. I'll screenshot it right now.
Okay. So, anyways, like your talk with the rolls and the winter rolls and stuff, and pulling limiteds at a profitable rate is what we've been doing for years. Going all the way back to like 19 and stuff, and Jason Kelsey.
Yep.
This is the MUT Leaks tweet. All right, so this is the MUT Leaks tweet with it.
Did you find it there
the MUT
too?
Leaks tweet?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, MUT Leaks tweeted this earlier.
Is it with the crossouts? You see it now?
Not with the crossouts.
No. That's not it. Here.
Okay, are you looking at what I'm looking at on stream with MUT Leaks?
Yeah, I see it. I see it up there. That's not it.
Okay.
Pull up. I just snipped it, so give me a second.
Okay. So, anyways, like EA has never wanted rolls to be profitable, and you're saying last year they were profitable because EA screwed up. EA literally screwed up with Henry and Simmons being put in that role. I think is it because we bitched about something, and then like the make right came out because they weren't in the role, and they crashed, and then like last year was an exception. So like you're saying this year's dry because rolls are bad. Rolls were always meant to be bad. Rolls, just like packs, were always supposed to take training or coins out of the economy. And so the argument that it's drier this year because EA is doing their job better, it's tough to take because like they have screwed up this year. And like I was talking about, that's like the most fun part of the game, period. So I don't know. I guess we just see it a little different. Yes, being able to roll there for 8 hours in a row and that being your content is cool, and it sucks that EA kind of took that away. But like, this is not the first time EA has neutered streamers, right? Because
no, absolutely.
Remember, like it was like 7 years ago, there were giveaway streamers, basically, I guess illegal lotto streamers, right? They were saying, all right, sub to me or buy this ticket, and then we'll roll for the card and give it away. And then like EA basically came in and said, no, we can't allow you to give away cards anymore. And then EA all of a sudden popped up with a stream of their own, and now they're, doing their GMM giveaways. So they're like the only giveaway streamers left on the platform, so that way they can monopolize viewers that way.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, yeah, EA is hurting your content. But the thing is like, I don't know if it necessarily, like, yeah, you won't be able to generate infinite value, but your content is still doing the same content this year, right? Rolling over and over.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's less exciting for the people because you're not profiting.
It's not that it's not profiting. It's just like anything else, right? Like, why do we go to the casino? We go there to hit something, right? So nobody wants to watch in the casino somebody just pull, and nothing's popping out ever, right? They just look at it and they're like, this is a dog water slot machine. All right. It's the excitement in that sense. Now, I don't think that I don't think literally every roll has been that way, because if you catch it during the right time, right, things can be awesome. And that still is true even today. I just think that whatever they've done to the algorithm, because I think we can both agree that everything's just a timing-based system, right? It's just an algorithm that they're dropping into the computer. We want something pulled at this rate. There's no specific timestamps. The computer's just letting go of this amount of this card at this time, right? Just randomized. And whoever pulls them during that time pulls them that time. I just think that they keep tuning those rates down. And it makes it less fun, right? Even like... I'd say when you look at the zero chill roll right now, I think you'd agree the stocking stuffers should probably be popping out a little bit more often.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you could sit there. I rolled like 700K the other day and I pulled one stocking stuffer. It's a 92. Like, that's not acceptable. I understand that I'm not getting completely destroyed on the roll, but it's got to be better than that, right? Give me some more small cards if you need to. Compensate it by giving me the excitement of the different animation. It ruins the user experience, I think. You see the list now?
Yeah, I'm basically looking over the list while I talk about this. And, like, I agree. The issue is EA, doesn't give a shit about your content. They give a shit about your bottom line, like you said, and they never want to make a roll profitable. So, like, last year you basically got lucky.
Yep.
On a few of those rolls being profitable, and like that's why we go to Herky's profile, and he's basically showing off the odds and what's profitable, what's not profitable, and that's why like presents right now have been so good for a lot of people, because technically it is kind of profitable. You just can't quick sell the parts that make it profitable. So yeah, I don't know. I like. It is what it is, and are you worried about the future of your content? Is that the part of it too?
No, again, that part doesn't bother me at all, right? I'm gonna do what I do regardless. A lot of the reason that so when I started opening the bundles on stream and doing it for people, I specifically tell them my stream is not built for you to go buy bundles. It's built to show you that you should not buy bundles, right? Like, I'm opening them up and showing you that one guy who told you that they pulled this out of this on Twitter and now you feel like you have a shot at it. Well, watch me open every single Team of the Week bundle every single week. How often do I actually pull the LTD out of there, right? Get a real sample size on a lot of these things. Like, when Grant runs a sample size and he's pulled up like 5 or 6 of you guys, I go on stream and my sample size is bigger than all 6 of you guys combined. Right? Like, that's literally how much that I'm opening. I'm rolling the entire time that I'm live every day, plus afterwards. So it's just, I feel it within the rolls. It doesn't worry me for the content. I don't care if I'm making or losing coins, right? Because I'm opening enough bundles that I'm always replenishing coins. I'm never going to be without coins. That's just, for me, that's not a problem that I have. But I don't want to see other people trying to have fun and just constantly getting raked over the coals either, because you shouldn't have to spend $3,000 on a game to stay relevant either. So there's a mix between those two worlds that I think it would behoove, EA to try to find a common ground with, the majority of their users. Because let's face it, myself, you, other content creators, we're not the majority of the people that are interacting with this game. I will say that we also don't have even close to the outreach that a lot of other game platforms do. So what we find to be atrocious and horrible and such, I think that there's such a big Madden user base that isn't on Twitch, Twitter, or any of that stuff, that a lot of the times we forget about that. And those people are keeping that machine running that way.
Explain yourself. What?
So
what about machine running?
The MUT machine that's fueled by people opening bundles is we don't see the same, like, for instance, there's more copies of Madden sold than there is 2K, but if you go on to 2K right now, you're going to see way more people watching, right? So
That's not true.
What do you
2K
mean?
outsells Madden. 2K outsells Madden on a yearly basis.
When
by
did
quite a
that
bit.
start?
Like 5 years ago.
No way.
6, maybe around 2K15.
You're making me look stuff up while we're live, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So like, I see what you're saying. The general Madden audience though is franchise. The general Madden audience is not in MUT, and I think like we saw with like Blitz promo packs and stuff. We're like, wow, all like we expected these things to crash because these $100 bundles were giving off these toppers of this, and then like it like didn't even fucking work, right? It didn't move a single inch. We only saw a few new ones pop up. So like a lot, I hear this so much. Like a majority of the Madden population is not on the forums, not on watching Twitch, not watching YouTube. True, but those are casuals. Treat this like an NFL game that want to play with their NFL teams. The MUT degenerates, the hardcores that are spending money on this game generally are involved. They are the ones looking up content because they're so into it. So like it's like any hobby. The people that are putting money into it the most aren't just some players that are like not caring about it. Like, oh, let me just casually spend $1,000 on MUT and not give a shit about anything else. Sure, there are those players, but a large majority of them are hooked into the community.
Well, I can tell you this. I got about a dozen friends who opened the exact same amount as me, and they had no idea what Twitch was until I knew what Twitch was. They've been doing this for years. We've been on since the first MUT.
Do they watch YouTube, though?
No. None of them watch YouTube. Like,
so they don't watch YouTube, and they've been putting thousands of dollars into Madden
correct.
for years.
They're huge football fans, man. We're boomers. I'm 37. Okay, so there is something to be said for that. And I'm not going to ignore that part of it. But I'm telling you, there's more people out there than you think.
Like, I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's a good point. There are plenty of people that don't do it. But I'm saying the majority of MUT players that spend that level are kind of hardcore.
That doesn't mean that they're watching any of our stuff.
But they are watching some stuff. Like, if you look at that, like, okay, when we had numbered cards and we earned them, and then you look at the viewership on, like MMG, on K, on the big MUT YouTubers, on, like, Zerk or other players, like, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views per upload. Okay? So, like, that's a vast majority. And a lot of those people do go ahead and get kind of more into MUT and stuff. But I see what you're saying. There are some that don't. But I don't even know what we're arguing about anymore.
It's not
we're
an
arguing
argument.
about the people that eat.
The last thing I'll say about this, to put it to bed, is I think that the people who have pocketbooks thick enough to make the impact that I'm talking about probably are struggling for time in a lot of other ways, if that makes sense. Meaning they're spending a lot of their time generating the money that they have that they're able to shell into a game like this. You know, so I don't know that they're spending as much, that much time on it. But I'm sure you're right to some extent as well. I'm sure that there's a portion of both.
Yeah. So what was our overarching point right there? What was the point we were trying to make there between cluelessness and people that are clued into the market? Like, because, like, here's the thing. I will say 4 years ago, the market was a lot less sharp. 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
I agree.
A lot less people watching it, a lot easier to make coins off it. But now, like I talked about with the Blitz promo, it feels like the market is not affected by the quote unquote dumb people as much on some of these bundles anymore.
I agree with you, and I do agree that the market has sharpened up quite a bit. Whether that's EA bots sniping it, like I don't know if that's even a thing or not. Maybe you could shed some light on that.
There are third-party bots on the market for sure.
Yeah, or to basically harvest coins, I'm imagining. Is that what the bots?
They're there to generate coins by sniping and relisting.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, I don't know. The market does seem sharper, though. I don't know if that's from outside sources or from the player base, but I do agree with you on that.
So, I don't know. I have no idea where we were and where we're going next on that agreement. What was the thing we were disagreeing about
We were
sharps
just
versus minnows?
what we were more talking about was just the amount of money spent on the game. And should it be that way?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's what led us down that path in the first place is what I'm telling you. Because we were talking about, are you under, are you in the stance that like it should be run like the show is run? Where do you think it would benefit the game? And I don't mean to be the one asking the questions, but do you think it would benefit the game if we had a stub type situation where we were just actually buying the currency itself and buying the cards we wanted that way?
Yeah. Like, not even close. That'd be way better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, the show does some things right, some things wrong. Their auction house is way better than Madden. The way they bring out solo rewards way better than Madden. The overall inflation is like Madden 15 or Madden 16 before. They bring out 99s on day one, which literally, MLB The Show doesn't have content for the last quarter to a third of their cycle. Like after the World Series, it basically is dead. There's like another good drop or two after the World Series. But like, Madden kind of dies off more towards after the draft.
Yep.
April. May still got some stuff. June, it's kind of willies away, but it's really like the last month that literally nothing comes out for Madden. Whereas like literally nothing's coming out for MLB The Show until the new season here in March, or I think they launched April last year. So like Madden is much more lively way later into the year, and we got like golden tickets. They don't got anything like that, which kind of sucks for them. So like, yes and no, right? You want to take like the good things from a different game, and you want to kind of leave behind the bad things. Obviously, MLB The Show doing what they've done. It's a lot easier to make stubs, I feel like, in MLB The Show with how their market works. Investing in that game's a lot easier. Madden has tried to kill investing over and over and over. Like, Madden has absolutely hated investors over the years. So, yeah, mostly, yes, I would like them to bring a lot of stuff from MLB The Show. What about you?
I don't disagree with you. So when I play the show, that's a gameplay game for me. You know what I mean? That's not like a market rip packs game. I don't think it's set up in a way to do so, right? Like there's no benefit really to ripping packs in the show. You're better off just buying your stubs and buying the cards in most cases. So from that aspect, I don't like it as much because I like the thrill of I'm a degenerate, man. I like the thrill of the gambling aspect of opening stuff up. But I will acknowledge from an accessibility standpoint, I know where my money's going, right? Like if I see Mike Trout is 300,000 stubs, I know that Mike Trout is literally a $200 card.
Yeah, and the thing about the show is, yes, they have like awful packs, and they're literally and they give them away so much that everything out of those packs are basically useless. A few months into the game, like probably like 4 months into the game when Mike Trout kind of goes down quite a bit. But the thing is, like, yes, they could easily do better packs, but like Madden's already got like, pretty great packs, animations, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So that's obviously not something you want to bring over. And here's the thing is, Madden used to be able to buy cards, you used to be able to buy coins with straight money, but then some freaking lawyers there probably got involved about like, the real, then like it has like an actual value in game, we could get sued or something. And so EA's a bunch of cowards. They got rid of that ability. That's been like freaking 8, 9, or 10 years now since that's been in the game. So like, it's just frustrating. But I do agree that we should be able to just buy straight up coins and then just keep the good packs too, so that way we have both the options.
So
right, to be a degenerate or to just get our cards and play the game straight up.
Right, but from like a legality standpoint, I'm sure you can understand this, that if they were to allow, in my opinion, they don't care at all about people buying coins. What they care about is if somebody can attach value to the things in the pack, real dollar value, meaning that you are legally allowed to sell coins, right? It wasn't against their terms of service. Then when you open that pack up, it's technically gambling because they actually have real value. So now you're paying money that you could profit or lose on technically. So that's the reason that they have to make it against TOS to buy and sell coins, because it becomes actual gambling at that point.
Yeah, but then why does MLB The Show allow it? Like, I'm saying they're cowards, right? They're cowards who can't withstand like a lawsuit of that magnitude.
Well, I don't think that MLB technically does, because they could. So Madden could frame their stuff the exact way that MLB did, and they would have nothing to worry about at that point. But how do you buy coins from a third party on MLB? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can buy stubs on a third party.
Well, I guess I had no idea that you could do that. So how does that work? Are people just listing cards at a high price?
Yeah, and then they buy, like, you go to like equipment or sponsorships or low stuff, and then they just buy it for however many. Like, they buy up the market until they get to you.
Okay, is that business running rampant over there?
It's pretty healthy. Not as much as other games because it's not as big, and I would assume because it's very easy to get top cards in MLB The Show, it's not that big either. But it is. They've definitely like ScoMo. He had an MLB stub sponsor. It's like 3 or 4 years ago now, and PlayStation just they clapped him a couple times, and because of the sponsorship, and it definitely happens a lot on MLB, but to the extent, I don't know. I've never been involved in that. It's just easy to invest in stuff and make coins, and
Yeah,
obviously,
I've never had to I've never gone down that road, to be honest, because you know what I mean, I just get buy the stuff that I want, so I can't say that I've even been down that road before. But that surprised me. I didn't realize that was happening over there, so that's good to know.
yeah. So like, yeah. Anyways, so moving on from like MLB The Show and legality reasons. I mean, like, here's the thing: you can do whatever you want as long as your lawyers are good enough, right? Like,
Yeah.
and EA's lawyers are good enough to like, they could like shoot somebody in the middle of Orlando and they get away with it. They don't care, dude. They'll cover that shit up. They cover that body up. So I don't know. I just think it's cowardly of them not to offer coins for cash. Because they don't want to hit with the gambling stuff. Because like that would just feel like it's more responsible to allow us not to have to gamble to get the cards and stuff. And I know like other companies in like different countries offer loopholes. Like you know how like in Japan in gambling shop. I don't know what the heck they're actually called. Somebody can chat what they're actually called in Japan. But basically you gamble in this one shop for like certain like tokens or little like plushies, and in the shop next to it you exchange those for real money. So like that's how they separate and how they make legal gambling in Japan. So like there's plenty of like loopholes to a lot of the systems and stuff. That I know, like I think Blizzard in different countries have different like way you buy certain gems and then you use those gems to do something else. Oh, yeah, pachinko machines. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. Overall, like I think it'd just be better to offer that guarantee to players, but maybe that's just me. I know. Like, here's the thing.
Do you think maybe the NFL has something to do with that, considering how much more it's thriving than the MLB?
Explain a little bit. What do you mean?
Well, like, I have to imagine that they have some sort of say in like what's going on within selling the rights over to EA, right? They have some participation, I'm sure, in how things move. I can't imagine that a company as big as the NFL doesn't have reps that are working directly with EA's people. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah. So do you think that maybe the NFL itself had something that they've had a say in to kind of stop that from being the case, to keep things in place? Or do you think that it would serve them no interest one way or another?
I don't know. Maybe years ago, they could have. I will never know. I know they got a lot of gambling sponsors now, so what would they really care about gambling?
I agree with that. I mean, shoot, everything that you see now is about gambling websites, even in live games. I think, what was it? Was it Monday Night Football where they had like the FanDuel logos directly below all the stuff? And I'm thinking, man, this country has changed. We went from not allowing cigarette sponsors to be on TV and beer sponsors to we're just straight up putting gambling right on the booth now.
I think they restricted some of that alcohol like you can't advertise hard alcohol before a certain time period. I don't know. There are some restrictions still on that, but like, it's definitely got. Just wait till tomorrow. Roboto actually works for FanDuel, so we're gonna see something crazy tomorrow apparently. Like with that, so like with the pulling packs, somebody tried to ask this, and I wanted to ask you that. So all you do, you sit there and you pull packs all day and stuff, and like, so what's the thrill when you pull so many limiteds? What's the enjoyment? Because like, I remember I was in your stream. Was it last year during that winter promo, and you were just pulling and like you got a limited, and so it's like, oh, you got a limited. Like, I don't care. I got a limit. Like, what's the thrill if that's all you do all day on stream? Like, where like, 'cause the gambling is the thrill, right? Like hitting a big hit. But like, if you're just pulling limiteds like crazy, what is it?
So I'd say last year definitely wore me out in that regard, right? Like the thrill was when I hit 500, when I hit 750, when I hit 1,000, when I thought I'd never hit 1,100 and I did. But when you're pulling them at that quantity, the one thing I will say about them coming out less is it is a thrill again when you do get one, right? So it's like that supply and demand thing when I'm on and I pull 3 or 4 limiteds in a stream in a roll. That feels awesome this year, you know, and I'm excitable when it happens. Last year, it did get to a point where it was like, okay, whatever, we just got another one, right? Like I was genuinely just trucking upwards to try to get to a certain number.
So just setting a record.
It was just setting a record, yeah. Which is still, you know, it was still really fun. I'd be lying to you if I told you that like when I hit number 1,000, that wasn't the coolest in my mind, right? It was like, oh, this is amazing, dude. I can't believe I set out to do that this year and it actually happened because I didn't think I'd get close. You know, the best I'd ever done was like just over 500.
Yeah. So I mean that's that I guess is part of the thrill. Everybody's got their own thing. So
yeah.
So what would you rate Zero Chill so far though out of 10?
After seeing the ghosts, we'll see how everything operates tomorrow. But I'd say it's like an 8. You know, I think presents will 7, probably 7. If presents come out and are kind of what I expect them to be, I think the presents are actually a gift this year. And I know there's a couple other creators that have the same thoughts as me, so I'm not gonna like go into it per se. But I think that there's some very giving gifts as far as like what you're going to get out of some of these things. I think if you invest heavily into presents, this is just a guess. I have no inside info, but I think you're going to do well.
It's been like that the last 2 years.
It has.
Well, it wasn't since Madden. I think Madden was it 20. Presents were just god awful, and then like we freaked out as a community, and then like ever since then, presents and eggs have been pretty decent actually.
They have.
Outside of like some ones that we get screwed on. Like there will be. Here's the thing. This is why I hate like quick selling things now, because some of these presents are gonna be fucking awful value.
Yep.
They're not all gonna be W's. So like when you said you're selling all your smalls, you're keeping only player presents and larges, and it's like for you obviously that makes sense since you have like 50 million coins and you have so much value currently that you can take L's and that kind of stuff. But I think for a lot of people, quick selling and trying to like replicate that is probably not, because you're really putting all your eggs in one basket. And I think if on general presents are a positive, you know, EV, expected return or expected value, then I think you just want to have them all, because then you know you're going to be able to withstand the ups and downs of individual presents.
So when I do what I do, but you know, for people that are in my stream know this, I always say this, don't do what I'm doing. This is not for you guys to do. I'm just showing you what will happen if you do this. More often than not, you're taking an L. Once in a blue moon, right? You'll do something and it actually works out for you. No different than anything else. But the reality is once you put your 3,900 training into there, your best bet is to hold on to whatever you got. Sure, could you quick sell, you know, 4 of them, 4 smalls, and end up ripping and pulling a player present with that 4K training? You could, but most likely you're not going to. So you're going to take another L at that point. So I am of the same mentality you are. If you're trying to get the most value out of it, hold everything that you have. I would not go into 4 digits with presents. I've done 950 get a gold packs at once this year. It did not break my game, but I am beyond scared to go into 4 digits because that was really where the threshold hit last year.
Yeah, and it will soft lock, and the only way they can unlock is by erasing all your presents.
Correct.
I've seen that happen to people in
Correct.
previous years.
So and I believe that's nobody's confirmed that number or not, but again, I can't imagine that the presents would be any different because they're packs than the get a golds. I know a couple of guys that are like partnered up with EA that are not going above 500, but normally with like digital stuff, it'd be more of like switching over to that extra digit that would ruin things. So I'm going to take the risk. If I get, you know, screwed because of it, then so be it. I hope that's not the case though.
Yeah. Just like fingers, if you have one too many digits, it's kind of strange.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, like overall, like it's weird because we haven't had the blowout of content during the Zero Chill that we usually get. Maybe next week we'll get like better, like, you know, more frequent because we don't get Team of the Week this week. Maybe we'll get more content next week. Overall, I think it's like it's weird because usually I'm struggling to put out gameplays to get the amount of players that we get that are like kind of cool to get gameplays on during the winter. But this year it's like 4 cool cards a week, but you know they are really nice top end cards, and I think a lot of these tall out of position guys are going to ruin those positions for a little while. So while it's cool now, we'll check back in by the Super Bowl promo and see if everybody's still running Megatron, Hendricks, Peppers tomorrow, and these legends that are just tall because they don't want to get egged on. But by then maybe we'll have like 0 AP freaking man coverage abilities and 0 AP pick artists on all of them. So anyways, yeah, somebody's saying just get a farm account. If once you hit 999, yeah, you can do that. You can get multiple accounts.
One other thing that nobody's really talking about, they didn't shut down Team of the Week this year.
Well, they're shutting it down next week and the week after, though.
Did they already confirm that?
Yeah, so those are coming out in January.
Weren't they earlier before, or am I misthinking?
They might not have had Team of the Week this week last year.
Okay. It didn't feel like we were supposed to get Team of the Week. Like, I don't have a date set, but, like, I was thinking we weren't going to have it this week.
Yeah, I think a lot of people speculate, because it's been, like, a couple years in a row we haven't had it this week.
Right.
But, yeah, I guess they had shorter vacations, or they decided they could get it handled this week. I don't know why. Maybe they improved their systems finally, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's still crazy. Like, because they got rid of power-ups, we can get rid of these ones. Like, here's the thing also, like, I want to hear your opinion on power-ups. Yes or no? Are you glad they're gone?
I have a little bit each. I think that no money spent guys specifically enjoyed having those power-ups because they could kind of like move the card up the rung without having to go too deep. I think the good part about it is that I don't have to have all these cards just like sitting in my binder, stealing. I hated power-ups. Bottom line, I am thoroughly glad that they're gone. I think that it's a big W, and I actually think that people are saving. But I've seen the argument like numerous times from certain people that are like, well, I used to have these cards powered up and then I'd leave them in the binder and just power them up to the next level or right before the final card. So I get that, but for me, them being gone is the best thing that's happened to Madden in a while.
Yeah, I agree. They were god awful. Like, the thing about power-ups, and like I see people in chat saying, oh, they missed some, that they're gone. Like, dude, I feel like it's nostalgia right now. People don't actually remember how awful power-ups were. Like, that's like saying, oh, I miss growing up and my parents would chase me around with wooden spoons and beat my ass. It's like, yeah, okay, it's cool to have nostalgia, but like, actually think about what happened and the pain that was there. Like, that shit was like, you buy like a 400,000 coin card and then you have to spend another 400,000 coins or more sometimes on the training just to power it up. And obviously it was good for investors because they were able to make some coins off of it too, this time of year and in January and stuff. But overall, power-ups, major fucking L's. Yeah, major L's. Like, the only upside is power-up passes, but EA gave us like rarely a card. But here's the thing is, the power-up pass would be cool for like a 94 overall. But how much do you think you're spending on that 13,000 training per step to get to that 94 overall just to use that power-up pass?
Yep. And this is like a classic example of you fix one thing and break another, right? Investors, like, there's plenty of investor type streamers and YouTubers that are like, oh, well, they're just trying to take away more opportunities. They really were trying to help people not spend as much, in my opinion. And just a collateral damage of that is less investing opportunities for others. I genuinely think that they were trying to be helpful with that move.
Yeah, and I think, like, I don't know. Yeah, sure, it was cool for the investor class to have them, but like, overall, here's the thing: is a lot of those cards actually were fucking L's for investors.
Yeah,
a lot of cards that people like invested in, like power up investing was good in like 19 and 20, and like they were like just going wild. But people mostly caught on. Right. If power ups were in this year's game, I don't know how well the investing would have worked on them because so many people got more sharp on investing. And it is what it is.
I think you're right. As you've said it numerous times during this podcast, year in and year out, people see what others are doing, and it's a monkey see, monkey do situation. And before you know it, whatever was found is now gone, because they either fixed it or too many people are on it. And I think this is just kind of another one of those cases. Like, even last year, the investing in the pre-cards, I mean, I'd say more often than not was not a hit. And I do feel like EA dropped. So, like, say they were coming out with a 93 Ed Reed and he already had a 90. I felt like his 90 would start to pop out way more often in packs in advance.
I love it. Yeah, maybe. That was always a conspiracy theory. And I have no data to say one way or the other, so I can't speak on it. But like, yeah, people always remember the successful investments, but they forget about the, 10 of them that failed to get that one success. But they're always popping off about how awesome it was. I'm like, I guess, yeah. If you did the shotgun approach and had so many, maybe it worked. But anyways, I don't know. We'll see. So MUT 23, everything included, rated out of 10 before we, unless you got anything else before we end. Give me an overall grade and what you're looking forward to going forward.
Where we're at right now, I think the gameplay is pretty darn good. There's some things obviously I don't like, but that's going to be the same every year. I feel like I don't think they can make a perfect football game. I give it a solid 7.5 to 8 as an overall. I enjoy the gameplay quite a bit myself. But I do think that from the content standpoint, it'd be more like a 6 and the gameplay like an 8-ish. So somewhere in between there, 7.5, 8. I like where we're going. I think that I think this year the game was in a much better shape. I'd like to see ags be tuned down a little bit, but by and large, if that's our biggest problem, then I think that we're doing okay in comparison to years past.
Yeah, I think you and I differ a little bit on gameplay, but I don't want to get into it too much. I think like content this year, if I don't know, where would you, so you've been playing MUT for a while, where would you rank it in the of like say the last like 5 months? Where would you rank it?
From the content?
Yeah.
You're not gonna like, because you already disagree. I thought 22 was the most obtainable content. I'd say you're probably I enjoy it more than I enjoyed 20. I'd say 21 had from a content perspective, I think 21 was a pretty complete game. I enjoyed that. So I'd probably go 21, 23, or 21, 22, then 23, and then 20 would be from like a pack opening standpoint, if that's what you're asking me.
Huh. Oh, I get you from that point of view. I thought 20 had probably the best MUT itself.
Yep.
But the worst gameplay.
Yeah, 20 was unplayable at times.
Yeah. But 21 was a step down content wise. They tried to redo the whatever 50 content, and it kind of fell a little bit flat. I thought 22 was actually as far as pure content and excitement for me, lower. Bo Knows I thought was like kind of like that was their replacement for like the big promo, and it was like it was fine. I don't know. It's weird how we're looking at those things so differently. Like you're the raw pack opening and whatnot, and I'm more overall based with like cards and balance and content itself, and so it's just good to see a differing opinion on here as the Steelers force a fumble on the Lions. All right. Any last word? There was one other. Oh yeah. Last question. Last question. Why do you think Mahomes? Like you said it earlier. Why do you think Mahomes is ass?
I don't think he's ass. I want to be clear about that. I want to see Mahomes under the bright lights more. He's had some good games, but he's also had some very underwhelming. I suppose that's true for every quarterback. And I even was talking to Chad about this yesterday. I don't know why I feel that way about Mahomes, but I don't like when he has the ball in his hands in the playoffs. I feel like he's rattled in a few of the games in a way that I haven't, or I wouldn't expect from somebody who makes the throws that he does. But I'll be curious to see. I mean, he's still a very young quarterback too. And for where, his age is right now, to me, it's him and Allen are like a 1-2. I'd say he's probably still better than Allen. But if you were to ask me who I'm drafting, I'm taking Allen over Mahomes personally.
So you think he's the number one quarterback in the NFL, but bad?
Over who?
You said you take him over Allen as the number one.
No, I would take Allen over Mahomes. I'm saying
no.
Put it all on paper. I think that the argument is there that Mahomes is the better quarterback. If you were to ask me who I'm drafting right now, right? Like I'm building a team, who's my number one pick? It's Josh Allen.
So who's number two?
Joe Burrow.
Number three?
Number three, we're getting into that territory of Herbert Mahomes.
Okay, so top 4 guaranteed in your place.
That if I'm drafting, yes, I'm drafting those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and those first 2 in order.
So he's top 4 quarterback in the NFL, but he sucks.
I didn't say he sucks. I just said I don't think he's the second coming. Is what I'm telling you. I think he is gassed up more than he should be. He's going to have to do more than win one Super Bowl off of the back of his running back and then win an MVP that he didn't deserve, as Damian Williams literally won the game for them.
Okay, he's got a pretty good resume, I'd say, but he's got an L brother. So yeah, I agree. Mahomes,
you want to know how you know that you're wrong is when your Twitch chat thinks that you're right.
Wait, what? Like you're saying my Twitch chat's saying you're wrong, so you're right?
You know you have a good take when the Twitch chat thinks that you're wrong. That's what I love to see.
Copium. He reads too many Twitter replies. Mahomes is fucking insane, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. And
does Mahomes get it done this year?
What do you mean by get it done? Win a Super Bowl and MVP?
No, I don't. I'm not a huge accolade guy necessarily, but I'm saying, do you think he gets them? Where do you think that the Chiefs go this year? Do you think that they have the talent around him for him to be able to take them to the Super Bowl this year?
So wait. So you're saying, is the talent around him good enough to get to the Super Bowl, or is he good enough to get to the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, he would have to be good enough anyway, but I'm saying, do you think that I don't think he has a crazy amount of talent, to be fair. Okay? At least I don't. He's got some pieces on his team, but I think that this is, to me, Mahomes' most impressive season thus far. Without Tyreek there, I think the fact that they're winning games at the rate that they are, they didn't look great coming out this year. I think this is his best performance for sure. The question is does he take that into the playoffs? And
I think he's probably got the best O-line of his career, which helps him. Yeah, he lost the number one playmaker in the league just about. That's tough. Yeah. Do I think they got what it takes? Yes. Any given Sunday in the NFL, Doc, I like this take. Viewership's way up based off this take. Okay, so great job. This is clear bait. This is clear bait.
This is not
How
bait.
Can you say a top 4 quarterback in the NFL in your opinion's bad?
Let me tell you something. I watched the worst organization in football for long enough to know what not good enough looks like. Okay,
he's won a Super Bowl, dog.
He has. Did he? My question, Fox. Be honest. Did he win that Super Bowl for them, or did Damian Williams?
Yeah, dog. You saw that fucking Tyreek over top of the cover 3.
Yeah, I saw him underthrow.
And the comeback, dog.
I saw him underthrow a ball, and a great wide receiver who proved that he's great no matter where he goes. Dog, catch a ball. I saw that.
Mahomes carried the shit out of the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. He was under so much fire from that insane front four of the Niners. I was surprised he got the ball off at all the entire fucking game. Okay? That was one of the most impressive performances I've seen.
Okay, calm down. He had 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
And he was running for his goddamn life.
Okay.
Watch that shit again against that front four.
That front four was crazy. That front four was crazy. That
offensive line for the Chiefs, they literally had to fucking murder them all that offseason and got new guys.
What that was? They had Buckner and Armstead on that line, didn't they?
Bosa,
Buckner, Armstead. Who was on the other side of that line?
I gotta calm down. Sorry, you're right. I should stat watch more and not watch the game.
Dude, I watched the game.
Take. I like that.
I
look
absolutely
at box scores
watched.
to see how well players did. I agree. But yeah, I will. A good podcast. That was very fun, very engaging. Our teams are pretty close. 31-28, Lions versus Pittsburgh. And take it easy, Fritz. Let me post your channel in the chat here. Actually, wait, just write, say something in the chat, and then people can click on it and follow. But yeah, take it easy, dude. It was fun.
There you go. Perfect message to end it with.
Patty sucks. There it is. Love it. So golf over Mahomes,
Fuck
right?
no. Excuse my French. I hope you ended it, but no.
Nah, it's still going. We're running. All right, we're ending it. Take it easy, Fritzy.
All right.
Peace.
See you, buddy.